In this lesson, I'd like to show you how to create a lookup column right on a field in your table. Currently I have the products table open, and if I look out here, I have a field called the supplier ID, and it just holds a number which represents a supplier from the suppliers table. Same thing for category. I have a category ID out here. That just represents one of my categories from the categories table. I'd like it to have actually show me a field from the suppliers table, like the company name of the supplier or the actual category name from the categories table. But you can pick any field you want from either the suppliers table here or the categories table here. So I'm going to come out to design view. I'm going to pick on my supplier ID to begin with, and then on your property sheet here, you'll see a lookup tab off to the right. You click on that, and then on text box, you want to click the drop down arrow on the right and choose combo box. And you want to come out here, you'll see this blank area that says row source here. You want to come out and click the three-dotted button for that guy, and you want to pull in the table that you're interested in. In this case, it's suppliers. I'll click on add, then click on close. I'm just going to pull in the supplier ID and the company name, like so, and I'm going to go ahead and close this query builder. It's just going to write some SQL code for me, and I will save the changes, and then you can see that SQL code that's been written from the query builder. Now I'm not quite finished yet, but let's just see what I have so far. I will come out, I'll move to datasheet view, I'll say yes to save changes, and when I come back out to the supplier ID, I still see the number out here. And if I click, I see that I do get a combo box, but all it's showing me is just the ID. Well, there was a little bit more that you had to do back in the property sheet. We're going to do that now. So I will come back into my design view, and what you want is you want to take a look at this. The bound column is 1. Now what does that mean? That means that when I go back into, by the way, if you ever want to go back into the design view of this SQL code, you can just click on it, click the three-dotted button on the right. This is column 1, this is column 2. The bound column is one of these columns, and I'm binding this column back into the table. What this is basically saying is this is the umbilical cord between the two tables. This is how they're related. They're related on the supplier ID. So I find the supplier ID, and whatever column it falls into, that's the column I write in here. Well, it happens to be in the first column, so that's the first column I have. Now, how many columns do I have? Well, I don't have one. I have 2 columns. And my column widths currently are empty. I'm going to go out here and I'm going to say, well, I don't want to show the ID because that was what I was showing before. So I'm just going to say 0 out here for the column widths, and then a semicolon. For the second column, I'm going to say it's 1.5 inches. So all this is going to do is it's going to say the column width is 0 for the first column of my column count, and the column width is 1.5 for the second column of my column count. Now again, that's going to come back out here and it's going to say this is going to be hidden because it's going to be 0, but this is going to be 1.5 inches, so it's going to show me the company name. So I am finished with this guy. If I come back now and save my changes, and now if I take a look at it, you can see that it's showing me the second column of that SQL code that was written, and I can see the actual supplier that was supplied there. Same thing for the category ID. I'll do this one more time. I'll come back out to my design view. I'm going to go to category ID. I'll click on the text box and I'll choose combo box. Out under the row source, I'll click the three-dotted button. I'll pull in categories, and I'll add that table. I'll pull in the category ID or the category name, although I don't have to. I could pull in the category name, the description, and the picture, and I could display all 3 fields in the drop-down combo box. Why don't I go ahead and do that? I'll bring in the category ID, the category name, and the description. Now I'm going to hide this column 1, bound column. Don't need to see it. I don't have to. I could show all 3, but I'm going to hide this one and show these 2 here. So done with this, I'll click on the X, I'll click on yes. There's my code that's been written there. My bound column is 1. I have 3 columns, and I'm going to say my column widths are 0, semicolon, 1.5, semicolon, 1.5. And that'll be 1.5 inches for the second column and 1.5 inches for the third column back in the grid. So I'm set. I'll go ahead and click on datasheet view. I'll save the changes, and now I see beverages out here, but when I click on this and open it up, you can see I can scroll across and see what the rest of the information was out there. Here's a little bit more tweaking you could do here as well. You could actually set it up so it shows both columns at once, but that's basically it on how to drop in a combo box right on your table.